So I don't know how to feel right now because we have not had a new product category since the Apple Vision Pro. And admittedly, that may not have been the form of computing for me, but this absolutely is. The Mac has absolutely shaped and changed my life in so many ways. I remember being a little kid and just walking into that classroom and just seeing all those colorful computers, namely the Tangerine, and I was instantly sold. But not quite sold because unfortunately my family could not afford it, but the all-new MacBook Neo may be affordable for your family. And honestly, that does make me a little bit emotional because if I did have a MacBook at such a young age, I'd probably have about 10,000 subscribers by now. Now, unfortunately, we do not have Tangerine with the first generation, but there's still hope for the future. What we do have is Indigo, Blush, Silver, as well as Citrus, with all models starting at $599 at 256 gigabytes of storage. However, the keyboard will not include Touch ID, but for an extra $100 more, so the total will be $699, you'll double the starting storage at 512, and it will include Touch ID. Both models do qualify for the education discount and come with 8 gigabytes of RAM. But let's go ahead and unbox, and then we can kind of compare and contrast the hardware to the MacBook Air as well as the MacBook Pro. And going ahead and just pulling off of the pull tab. So again, this is the 8 gigabyte model with 512 gigabytes of storage, and then we got the little shimmy test that actually slid off quite nice, and I just love this. We have the little hello, so the MacBook is already greeting us without even needing to open the lid, and I wonder if they added that detail to the MacBook Airs as well as the MacBook Pro since they also got a refresh. We got a booklet here, which it would be cool if it had color matching stickers, not gonna lie, but we ain't got those. I don't think we'll be getting those ever again, but we do have a braided USB-C cable here as well. Some people are calling this an iPhone charger, but joke's on you because we haven't had an iPhone charge in over 3 years. So this is the MacBook Neo charger, and it does deliver 20 watts of power, which is not very much, but it'll charge your MacBook Neo and it'll probably charge your iPhone as well. And if you didn't have one, now you do, now you do. Let's go ahead and open this guy up. Oh, new Mac. They don't have a smell, but I just like to tell myself they do have a new Mac smell. And this color, oh my gosh, this color looks so good. I was a big fan of the Midnight in the Airs, but they did get a little smudgy, and hopefully this one will not. So far it is passing. So far it is passing the smudge test. So that is super cool. Let's go ahead and just open this fella up. That new Mac sound, we love it. So the first thing I gotta do is connect it to the Apple Studio display, the first generation that's right behind me. And surprisingly, it does work. However, the MacBook Neo does only support one external display, but that's still super impressive because this is a 5K panel, the Apple Studio display. And as far as ports, it does have 2 ports. So they're both USB-C. Top one here, which the Apple Studio is plugged into, is a 3.0 port, while the second one is a 2.0 port. And this was one of the biggest scandals of the keynote, was that they're different speeds, but the average I work in tech support as my 9 to 5, and if I were to say USB-C port to a user after describing the shape, they're gonna find it, they're not gonna know nor even care if it's 2.0, 5.0, or 7.0. They just expect the port to do what the port is meant to do. And obviously we can see it does, and honestly, I've been so tempted on selling this Mac Studio here because I just don't use it for its power. I much prefer to work on a laptop, so watch out over there, Mac Studio. As far as the display, it is still a liquid retina display. It gets up to 500 nits of peak brightness versus the Apple Studio display, which is 600 nits of brightness. So they are pretty comparable as far as brightness, which is pretty impressive. And also in terms of the display, as we can see, the bezels are a little bit more chunky, but if you were bothered by the notch, there is no notch here. I am more accustomed to the thinner bezels found on the MacBook Pro, but this isn't too bad. Again, it's ideal for the office worker as well as student. And if you're one of those, you're going to be on a lot of virtual calls. So let's go ahead and test out the webcam. This is a 1080p webcam, and we're also using the built-in mics for this recording. So again, this is perfect for Zoom calls as well as team calls, whether you're working remotely or maybe even taking an online class. This runs a full macOS experience, which we haven't even touched on yet. So you get all the cool features of macOS Tahoe, like a built-in ring light for your calls. But if you want to up your camera game even further, Of course, as we have already covered, we are running a full macOS Tahoe experience, so you could take advantage of continuity camera. So you could use your iPhone as your webcam, so that is pretty cool. So again, all you gotta do is just attach your iPhone right there. As we can see, we do have our ring light, and the camera quality is obviously gonna be better because you're using the camera lens from your iPhone. And in my brief time with the device, I am super impressed with the keyboard. It is still a Magic Keyboard, but I just have this trauma of butterfly keys of the past. So if you know, you know. So, but the quality here is still great, and they're actually color matching based on the device that you do get. So we do have a bluish tint here since this is the Indigo model. You always have to hand it to Apple with their details. Another thing to note as far as the keyboard goes is that this does have Touch ID. So the base model at 256 gigabytes will not have that Touch ID button. But if you are buying it for an employee or maybe even a young student, then I think that should be fine. A lot of office work nowadays is cloud-based, so you should be able to get away with that. But if you are buying this for yourself, I say spend the extra $100, get that double storage, get the Touch ID experience. And if you are a student, take advantage of that student discount. And this Mac could easily last you over 5 years. So I do recommend spending that extra $100 to get that experience, as well as doubling the storage. I've had my guy for over I think 6 years now, and it hasn't skipped a beat. And one of the bummers, because there are bummers, is that unfortunately the keys themselves are not backlit. So you won't be able to really see the keys if you were in a dark environment. But one thing to know as far as the Indigo goes, the blush color as well as citrus colors, those keys do appear to be lighter in nature. So you're able to see the text of the letters on the keyboard, I think, a little bit more easily. This blue color is a little darker in nature. So that's definitely one thing to know if you're going the Indigo route. They're not backlit and they are a little darker in nature. And as far as the trackpad, it is very responsive, as you would expect from an Apple trackpad. But however, it is an actual dive board style, so you do actually have to physically click versus a haptic click, but you could click anywhere on the trackpad, so that's actually a nice touch. It is still great quality because it's still made of glass. Well, let's go ahead and just check out how these speakers do sound with a little, we'll listen to the Super Bowl halftime performance. Not too long because we'll get copywritten, but let's go ahead.
League welcomes you to the Apple Music Super Bowl.
This is about 75%. And that's full. And I mean, I think that sounds great. So these speakers are a little different. They are side loading, and that sounds fantastic. I kind of want to listen to the whole thing now. Or I can't do that. But another port that we have not mentioned just yet, it does have a headphone jack, which I always do appreciate. I wish this was still around on iPads. But if you do prefer to use AirPods, wireless AirPods, this does also have Wi-Fi 6. I think we have covered and tested the hardware. So let's talk about software as well as performance. The MacBook Neo is running on the A18 Pro chip, which, yes, it is an older iPhone chip, but just keep in mind what your iPhone is capable of. It's still Apple Silicon, and it's still running the same architecture the M series MacBook chips are. And the M chips did originally come from iPhone chips, so keep that in mind. And then as far as iPads, even though those guys are running M series chips, I mean, the iPad Pro, I think, is on the M5 right now. It is not able to run macOS Tahoe, and that to me is very Twilight Zone, but here we are. And for less than half the price of an iPad Pro, you get a built-in keyboard as well as trackpad. And those things in iPad land are sold separately. But I am on a tangent, but the affordability of the MacBook Neo is what makes this product lineup so exciting, because the tech is only going to get better from here. And quickly, if you are on the fence between the Neo as well as the Air is a 13.6-inch display versus 13 found on the Neo. So it is slightly larger, as well as the bezels also being quite thinner, but again, with that notch. So just a quick little size comparison there. So just a tad bit bigger. And then of course you have the MacBook Pro, which is 14 inches in size. So you get a whole inch for that Pro name. Of course, there's a lot of other things you get with the MacBook Pro, but it is slightly larger there as well. It all comes down to your funds and how long you plan on living with the device. So I say if you do plan on living with the device for a very long time, I would say go with the Air, because this device still wows me how thin it is. It just stuns me every time that I hold it. But if you're buying for a business or a school, I'll be pushing my supervisors to go the Neo route from now on. It is half the price in the Dells that we deploy, so I don't see why we wouldn't. And the macOS experience overall, I just think it's a lot more user-friendly to the average non-tech person. And these colors that they have in this lineup are just absolutely so fun. I'm still holding out hope for a tangerine in the future, but the colors that we have now are pretty cool. So this was a quick video. I'll continue to work with the MacBook Neo as we move on to the next video. So if you'd like to see anything compared to the MacBook Air or the MacBook Pro or test it on this device, go ahead and drop it down in those comments. And of course, as always, while you're down there, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't, and until next time, I'll see ya.